Going right into it today. Welcome back. Tyler Talks. I think I took a week off, so had to find myself. Work's been crazy last 2 weeks. I say that every now and then. Sometimes it's not. If I do a bunch of videos in the week, it's not crazy. Don't let me lie to you. But yeah, I just got to the point where I was like, man, this is my head hurts. I don't like looking at a monitor all the time. So took a little break. I've also been working on a redemption project on the side that I'm very excited about. Who knows? We'll see where it goes. So I've been doing all sorts of stuff too. I've actually been having a lot of fun with what I'm working on, um, helping me grow. I take card design very seriously. It's become really a big passion of mine. I want to get better at my craft. I want to be an expert at what I'm doing. So I'm just constantly pushing myself and learning new things and trying to be creative and all that. So that's what else I've been doing in the meantime. In the evenings when sometimes I make decks and test them out. So I apologize for nothing. All right, we got a little clay build. I posted something very similar in Discord. This is just trying out the Dutiful. I do think there's a royalty priest deck that uses some clay with like purple, pretty much purple clay and like a couple teal heroes. Teal heroes obviously being the priests. That's a little bit more difficult to build. So I don't want to rush that build, but that's something I'm also looking at. I said I was going to get into more priests builds in general. There's a good clay white version. There's a good teal clay version, and I would love to bring Jeremiah into this build. Probably lose a New Covenant and bring Jeremiah in here. You could always bring the old Zadok in here instead of the new Zadok and bring in Noah, and you can just ban Noah in. Same with Lord of Armies. Like you could just ban Noah in. And where is it? So Zadok's second Samuel. So you just bring in a first Samuel priest or a first Samuel hero that can get you to the other Zadok to ban in Noah, and you shuffle your Lord of Armies. We'll get into all that. I'm gonna do probably just like I did blue, where I did a lot of blue decks, different variations. I'm gonna do some variations on clay. We're probably gonna, you know how you do Bible studies, you kind of stay in a book, or you're at church, you stay in a book for a little bit. We're gonna be in the book of clay, baby, the book of priests. We're just gonna be messing around with different priest builds. So I'm not gonna go into the defense. Same thing. I just added in the Nero and the Denarius because I needed a little help. I did force delivered in here, just because I can get a Lost Soul out easily, which can pop out Sabbath Breaker. I have 2 Lost Souls. I can get Sabbath Breaker out to play delivered. It's not too hard to get one of my priests out that are teal as well. So it's not ideal, but I did find this deck just wanted a little bit of extra juice because I reserve a lot of my stuff and get it back. Clay is not for the faint of heart. It is a little bit more complex. It plays a little differently. So I'll show you just this build and what we do. This is 50 cards. It's got a lot of blocks. It's got the breakers in the brown that I like. I threw in the Nero. I do not have the Wilderness Unity, so not doing any of that. I really like this deck in general. I like how it covers priests and then goes into the Wilderness defense. I like this kind of old style, Old Testament feel, telling a story, having like a pretty much a thematic defense, doing all priest as a theme. I like it, and then it's got a bit of a, not a grind. I guess I would call it more so of a like a new look by the numbers. I have Sabbath Breaker to prevent enhancements. I have if opponent uses a draw ability this turn, negate a good brigade. And then I have Zadok. So I have different ways to just negate enhancements or prevent enhancements or negate your stuff. Or I can have some of my enhancements still work and yours not. And I really, really like, it's just very strong, when you have protection, boop, boop, and by the numbers. So when I can go New Covenant to, I probably need a way to bounce Dutiful. When I go New Covenant and get the Phineas and the band, and I have CBN protection with Phineas's spear, what I like to do with New Covenant, like Aaron to Phineas to Ahimelech, or just like a hero that grabs something. And then I like having Spear on him, and then Spear activates, and I reserve this card, and I protect hero. I'm sorry, meaning bear. I protect Phineas from an evil brigade, and it's CBN, and I reserve Spear, and then Ahimelech comes in, and I get to draw one because I reserve Spear, and I get the I get to just immediately take Phineas's spear back, and I can just do this over and over again. That, or I bring in Zadok to negate enhancements. And I get Phineas, who numbers enhancements can't be negated. So I get the CBN protection. And if I have Ahimelech down, I get to draw one off this, throwing the spear to the reserve, and then I get to reserve an Old Testament card from hand to negate enhancement, so I get another draw, and then I can draw two. Clay constantly is just interacting with the reserve. I really like how it's built, so if you get, it can get its resources out and kind of recycle them. So I really like, it's a lot of fun, and protection and by the numbers is very strong. And I really love how Guilt Offering, you may reserve an OT card from hand or discard pile. So if I can just pop anything back in the discard pile, but usually I'm just going to reserve an OT Clay card from hand, get the draw one, get it right back, and reserve, and then protect my Tabernacle heroes, and then I come in with a by the numbers band that's protected. That's very strong to stop. They need CBP, CBN, Humble Loss, Soul Out, like regardless of protection. There's not really a lot to do there. Like Scattered and stuff doesn't work because I'm protected, my Tabernacle Priest. So, same thing how Disciples have some protection, and then they do the band. It's anytime you can get protection, and you can throw Jeremiah in there. Like if I do Guilt Offering, I would love a deck with New. It's just tough to do with New Covenant though. But if Aaron could go to Zadok and Jeremiah to toss the first with Guilt Offering, like you usually keep Jeremiah in hand, you give Aaron the band, Aaron goes to Zadok, Aaron's New Covenant band hits to band to a human, he goes to Jeremiah, and you now have protection. You get the draw, you negate enhancements, you toss the first. It's just, you're winning by everything at that point. Could be a win more, but I like how Clay can go a lot of different ways. So, let me take a swig of my oatmeal. I know it's the drinkable kind. It's kind of weird at first until you get used to it. It's really good. All right, we're rejuvenated. So, I also have the play first. Clay, I think the opinion on Clay is it's just a little weaker up front, and I think it's a very strong, complex offense with a lot of options. Getting the play first, Aaron Staff making it CBN. Also, Israel's Rebellion to shuffle Lost Souls. Aaron Staff's good to pop him back out. I can make Dutiful a Tabernacle. I get to play an Offering enhancement, and then I can draw two. I have Offering enhancement, getting the underdeck. I know what Sean likes to do is get your CBN or toss, like with New Covenant, and then Dutiful gets to play the first. So there's also that way, I guess, that way being the teal version, but I like all this clay stuff. So we have different offerings that we could play off Dutiful as long as you band to them. So you just make them Tabernacle and you have enough guys there that can band to them. And you have an offering here and different offerings here. So you could always get your, you get to play first. That's nice. You can have protection with play first. That's nice. It's kind of whatever you want to do. So a lot of layers, protection by the numbers, play first. It's just a matter of can you get it out. So I tried to make something that was pretty fast on both sides. Got my consistency pieces. Just overall pretty solid deck. So we will see. You guys like that? That's nice. I kept forgetting to change the background of stuff, so I need to start changing the backgrounds of everything. All right, so this is just, I just put IR Priests. We'll just go through a quick run through. I know the stars in my deck. I didn't get any stars. No Lost Souls. You got to factor in what Lost Souls did you get. If you got Prosperity and Darkness and the Wilderness Soul, like what do you put down? What do you reserve from hand? What do you discard? All that. So make sure you know what you're doing when your Lost Souls come in. And same with my artifacts now. I got to look. Do I want to take a Wilderness Human or an Old Testament Clay Priest from deck? Or do I want to get Emperor and draw 3, knowing I have David's Tent? I have 2 heroes. David's Tent can be a hero, and Offering of Wrongdoing. I could have 4 heroes right off the rip. That's very good. But since I can already get a hero and I have 2 in hand, I'll rather go into Denarius. If I get a Lost Soul, that's fine. I will have Emperor Nero, a draw 3, potentially Israel's Rebellion to use. I don't have Grumbling at God doesn't work on Nero. If used by a Wilderness hero, negate other enhancements. I would get the Withdraw if they did a big band. I still get to use Grumbling at God, do the Withdraw, and then Nero's protected. So it's still good on him. So we have made our choice. I put my artifacts down here. So what I like to do, don't just go into Denarius. You want to go into David's Tent first to thin your deck 1 before you go into Denarius. So I get a 1 Samuel. Usually, I pretty much just get Ahitub every time because I can just go Aaron to Ahitub to exchange to whoever. Now I can go into Denarius. Go to big bad Nero. Draw 3. We got the Distressed. We don't mind that at all. Give a quick hand scan. What are we doing here? We could go to Captive to go to our other banding Tabernacle Priest. And that means we can go Captive to deck to Aaron. And then Aaron can grab Book of the Covenant. And we still have Ahitub. So we have a big band right off the rip. So you may capture this hero to opponent's land of bondage. And then we're going to go to deck. And we're going to get the banders, Abiathar, the Survivor. He bans because he came back. So he protects Old Testament priests from evil discard abilities. Kind of ironic about the story with Abiathar. All the other priests died but him. So I was like, well, I mean, it makes sense for the story that he protects himself, but the kind of theme of priest is that they all get the protection. So he ran back when Saul told Doeg to kill everyone. Abiathar ran back, who's the son of Ahimelech, and he went back and fled to David. So I gave him the band. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I like cards reflecting the scripture and all that as much as I can, but that was a little tough one. Okay, so protect Old Testament priests from evil discard abilities. May ban to a Tabernacle Priest or take an OT Clay enhancement from reserve. We'll go to Aaron. You may take a Tabernacle artifact from deck. Don't really need Aaron's staff right away. We like having book first. We don't need to do the shuffle there. Maybe into Moses or a Tabernacle Priest. And then we can protect Lost Souls from evil cards. Reserve this card to add a Tabernacle Priest from hand deck, or territory to battle. So we can go to Eli and we can get protection from capture, shuffle, and we can draw 2, or we can go to Zadok and get the potential draw 2 and negate enhancements. So now we can reserve an OT card from hand to negate enhancements. I think I'm good with reserving Grumbling at God. So I negate enhancements, I draw 2, and I have Lost Soul protection and Priests are protected from discard. I can still get hit with a Scattered or an Abandonment, stuff like that. There are things that can hit me here, so it's not an unstoppable rescue, but it is very good up front. Like Reap the Whirlwind, popular right now, as it should be. It's a beautiful card, and Brown's back. If you play Justin, just know he's probably playing Brown. Justin has been a long time Browns fan in the sense of the brigade only. All right, so do I need to put anyone down? He gets a draw based on Evil Wilderness Humans. We only have him, so I don't need to put anyone else down. I look around. I think I'm good here. So it'd be their turn. I'm fine with a Nero with a Woes as a block, potentially. I'm good with that. I have a potential for a Search protection with the 3 Woes as well, and an Israel's Rebellion to back it up. So I do feel good about the turn 1 block. There you go. Discard the top card. From an upkeep, nothing here. And it's just a matter of, do I go to Book of the Covenant, and I can get out a Covenant and activate Covenant of Peace on top. Very good. And then I can go into a Delivered, which can go into an Errant Staff. Also not bad. No, I can't. I don't have my Priest. He's over there. So that's easy enough. So I already have my Covenant of Peace. That's my only Covenant in the deck. So I go to Reserve. And I do have Unity right now. So I do want to grab New Covenant. I want to activate New Covenant and give it to, you know what, I'll just give him a +1 for now. And I can shuffle. Artifacts are unique. I was going to say I could deliver it back into New Covenant and give him another band. How cool would that be? And I still have, I could hold 2, so then I go into Covenant of Peace. Oh, I was supposed to put Ahimelech down. Covenant of Peace, you may reserve an OT card from hand to take 1 from deck. OT Clay card from hand to take 1 from deck. Not sure what exactly I want to give up. I guess Eli. And I can get the draw 1 once I'm done taking from deck, because I cheated and put Ahimelech out afterwards. Hey, you try to talk and play at the same time. So now I can take an OT Clay card from deck. Nothing I can really. It's nice to have this in battle. The Convert All Evil Humans, draw 1 top deck. New Testament, New Testament. So it's just a matter of, do I want to take out enhancements, or are there any other heroes I want? If I'm going to go to Errant Staff off Delivered, then I kind of want to pump up the Tabernacle guys I have down. But don't put him down. You don't get the draw 1 from Ahimelech. That's on you. All right. So Phineas down, Ordained down. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Tabernacle Priests. Oh, we can't use Delivered. What did I just tell you, Tyler? So we can't go to Errant Staff. That's okay. We'll get the draw 1 on book next turn. So now we have a 2-hero band. We have an interrupt band. And the 2-hero band, that could go Zadok. Like I can band here, band here. He can take Aaron staff, and then I can just use delivered as like a fodder for Zadok or something. Oh, what do you know? And then I can band. Now it's just a matter of, do I want to go Ahimelech and Zadok? Just do it both. So I can just reserve an OT clay card and then grab the OT clay card from reserve. Or do I want to, like, that's essentially the same thing. I don't have any numbers enhancements. This is a numbers enhancements that's really good on Phineas, but don't have any numbers enhancements. So I think I go both of these two, which Zadok would be first as the actual band, and then the gained ability is second, and then I'll take the counter off them. Gained abilities happen afterwards. And then I can reserve an OT card from hand to negate enhancements. If I reserve an OT clay card, then I can draw one. And then I can take an OT clay card from reserve. So I go ahead and show Grain Offering. I reserve it to negate enhancements, and then I get to draw two. And then Ahimelech hits, which if an OT clay card you own is reserved, you may draw one. If attacking, you may take an OT clay card from reserve. So then it's just a matter of, what do I want to take from my reserve? I'm going to be negating enhancements. So there's not like too much I can do there. I should probably put a CBP clay card in here. But there's just not a lot of options just yet. I think there's just the one, and it's in my main deck. Yeah, Sin Offering. Because we want to use that through Zadok. And then, was that good? I got the draw two. I drew off Ahimelech, and then I took the card back. So a little cheeky. That's fun. There's no real cost on Zadok with New Covenant. And I have a 4-hero band that's protected from evil discard abilities. I got to take a card from my deck. I got to draw one, take a card from reserve, draw two, negate enhancements. So at this point, it's just a matter of, do they have anything that's CBP, CBN, or yeah, pretty much it. And if they do, that's fine. They would probably win that battle. From here, I can turn over my artifact. And we could probably lose delivered. But we do have Sabbath Breaker, and we didn't play anything, but I don't have all I have is New Covenant. So that's not going to help. So I guess I just lose delivered. Darn. Because the only other thing I can think of is I go Book of the Covenant. I go to reserve next turn. I get the draw one. So I get You Will Remain Active, or I just snag something from reserve. And then I go, and then I can also use Covenant of Peace. I get the draw one. I snag something from reserve. I get the Covenant of Peace, and then I go delivered, and I still get New Covenant from deck, and that's a ton of value. That's kind of what's going through my head right now, and I think that's fine. I can put down a Sabbath Breaker. If I lose that guy, I lose my delivered, so I could put him down from hand, and then I'd have to do some sort of block here, which is fine if they used a search ability, kind of make them do something. I could play Israel's Rebellion. I definitely didn't shuffle. I guess it was too soon. Did you shuffle this time? A zone was recently shuffled. Come on now. 1, 2, 3. So what do you know? Hopper. So now I get the upkeep trigger for a draw one. And I can go, I'm done with my upkeep. I go into my prep, and I can go Book of the Covenant, take a Covenant, um, from reserve or deck, and I can activate it, and then I can go, you may reserve an OT Clay card from hand to take one from deck. We do want to keep Sin Offering, and now we could take an OT Clay card from deck. And then we reserved an OT Clay card, so we got the draw one. Hey, look, something else for Israel's Rebellion. That would go over there. I'd probably snag your Distressed. I can put down my Breaker and play Delivered and go into New Covenant and go +1. So not bad at all. I think this is turn 3 and we have 13 cards in deck and 12 in reserve that we can constantly shuffle and grab and go whatever we want. So from here I can go to reserve, which is nice because Defender goes back to Ahitub and he can go hand, deck, or territory. So I get the protection and then I can go to territory, which would be this guy to this guy. And then it's just a matter of who do I want from here. Do the same thing again if I want to. I don't have my Dutiful. What do you know? So, darn. But I can just do the same thing again with Zadok. So it's not bad. If they were able to stop this band, I still have, like, if they are hitting me with scatter stuff, that's why I like you will remain. I also like having toss CBN cards in this build because I have prevention on both offense and defense. So I do like having Colosseum or the Cross. I don't have much of I don't really do anything to you about your territory or negate all your stuff, so it does lack there. But you can put that in. Like, a lot of people have gone off Golden Calf. They're just not using that card anymore. We're not really seeing any Crown of Thorns, so those cards are still viable. All right, so I think I like this offense. I think I like the whole Teal, Clay, Lord of Armies, the other Zadok, Noah, because if I'm playing Zadok, Lord of Armies, with that and that, and this Zadok who trying to negate enhancements, and I go Zadok to Noah, Noah just shuffles this in. And guess what? I now prevent cards, and I got my dominant back. And I don't need a Himelech there, so I don't need the New Covenant. And then with David and Jehoshaphat, you have Joshua and Jehu shenanigans. I really like that build. So I'll unveil that. Maybe this week. We'll see. But I think that is a very strong build. I think you can lose. I mean, you could still have Dutiful Priest. I think you can lose a couple characters that we just don't need as much for that certain build, like these guys. I love them, but that's a whole different deck. So we'll see. But yeah, so that's we can flip it one more time. Do one more quick. Does this thing work twice in a row? So it's nice to have a bunch of dominance and delivered and all that. If they get to go first, they would have to generate some souls. Um, and then if they used a draw ability, just being able to negate an entire good brigade with 3 woes is very nice. Um, if I get to go first, it's David's Tent. And like I said, I pretty much always get Ahitub. And I already have my Bander. So not bad. I don't need to shuffle there. And I can just go Abiathar to Ahitub. And I think we just go turn 1 Zadok, maybe. But that's only a 7 offense, and we're not going to have really much to play on him. And yeah, I don't know. I really don't like that, do I? So we can swap for a Tabernacle Priest. Maybe we just stick to the game plan. Go to Aaron. To book. Knowing that we just have a 3 woes to back us up. And that's it. So if we have to play the 3 woes, or they can get us on a chump block, or they can get us on like an unsuccessful or something. Not much we can do there. Not a great attack. They would have to generate something, and I still have the Plagued with the woes. Nothing from an upkeep perspective, so I can just kind of, knowing I can go straight to Storehouse down. It would be turn 1's done, so I could go to my deck or my reserve. I'm just trying to think, because now I can do Book of the Covenant, and I could go to Covenant of Peace, and I could go to New Covenant and kind of have 2 covenants going for the price of 1. But I would have to, well, for the price of reserving Grain Offering from my hand, and I just don't think I want to do that. And I'm also thinking, if I go New Covenant, who am I banning to? That's not really a great attack. I would have to go Defender of Saints back to Ahitub. Reserve, yeah. Not really a great attack there. So, I think we do go Covenant Peace. Go to deck. And I think we can reserve an OT Clay card from hand to take 1 from deck. And I think I'm going to grab first Samuel, or attack with Zadok and then do Lord of Armies. Like Defender of the Saints. Yeah, I think that's good. Let's see what I can do. So I probably go like Ahitub's first Samuel. Which kind of stinks because I want to bring him into battle, because Lord of Armies brings in Ahitub, and then I can bring in whatever priest I want, but oh well. And then he also gets reserved, goes to deck, and can get out whatever priest. And then if attacking, you may take an OT Clay card from reserve. Yeah, not a ton there. And then if I want, I can do Lord of Armies. But I can't. I can only bring in 1, 2. Or I can try to get the Peace Offering. And then take another OT Clay enhancement from reserve. Yeah, not too great. Kind of boring there, huh? So just be 1, 2. And then I can I can band, or I can take an OT Clay enhancement from reserve, and I can reserve an OT Clay card from hand to negate enhancements. So I'll do that first, and I'll get the draw 2, and then I'll go into Abiathar, and I can take an OT Clay enhancement from reserve. Kind of whichever one I want. I like using Guilt Offering and then Lord of Armies, like I said, but yeah, this one was kind of weird. A lot of options, like I said. It's a little complex, so things are negated. I'd have to, once again, they really have to be built to take out by the numbers, because I can do protection and by the numbers so many ways. Yeah, and then after that, it would be, what do I block with? Not really much here. I didn't generate a lot of resources very well. And that's where I was saying why I want Sabbath Breaker delivered in Denarius. So I'd probably go straight into just giving him one, which was my fault. I missed the aimless Lost Soul, because that would have given me a different Sabbath Breaker. For Sabbath Breaker, prevent enhancements, go to Plagued Congregation. Oh well. So now I have the upkeeps going. Storehouse, I can take an OT enhancement. I can reserve to take one from deck. Oh wait, first I can finish up with Book of the Covenant. Oh, I thought I used, whoops, sorry guys, I cheated again. I thought I already used it. So I would take new Covenant, shuffle it, and then reserve an OT Clay card to take one from deck. At this point, I'm just getting my heroes. Yeah, that's the hero I want. I can shuffle. I get to draw one because I reserved a card. All right. Put down Phineas. We can play Phineas's Spear. We could also play, we can go into Denarius, or we can go into Guilt Offering. If we want a Lost Soul, we could just go Guilt Offering. If you reserve from hand, Protect Tabernacle. So we would just reserve an OT Clay card from hand. That's our only option. To protect Tabernacle Priests. So I get to draw one. And now I have the Aaron, Abiathar, Phineas, Zadok band, which is pretty good. So Abiathar to Aaron. Phineas's Spear can reserve this card to protect Phineas, CBN, and then I reserved it, so I get to draw. But first I have to do Zadok, who can reserve Eli to negate enhancements, draw 2, and then I got the reserve, so I get to draw 1. I didn't need to do the protection because all my guys were already protected, so it really didn't matter, just a matter of, I guess I just wasted that, to be honest. So yeah. Now that's where it starts getting a lot harder to stop. Layered protection with a by the numbers battle. So it's nice to have some dominance to back up anything. Same with Angel. So yeah, it works very well. That was turn 3, and I got everything going. Tons of dominance. So I really like it. It's just a matter of, I don't know, I think that was turn 3. If you can block turn 1, turn 2, and your deck kind of needs that block or so, like Jaden's video with Posty's Brown was a really good video of seeing what an offense can do with an early block or two, and it can just kind of build into a very strong rescue. Posties and Priest kind of play similarly in the sense that like your posty attack up front is usually Zerubbabel Nehemiah. Um, it's nothing like super scary or anything crazy. It's just a nice like grab them, draw two kind of thing. Nothing crazy. Uh, Priest is in the same regard, and then you kind of build into this. Hey, stop this. My guys are protected. Everything's negated. Some of my cards work. Um, it's very hard to stop. So the other version I want is the Royalty Priest, where you kind of get the best of both worlds, where I can come in with Jehu and hit your hand, and Joshua and hit your territory, um, and bring priests in. I really like Jehoshaphat being able to go to priest and what you can do with that, with all these new priests, um, and Zion, and being able to play certain characters early on with Lost Souls that trigger Zion. I made a deck, I think it was Support Overload, that kind of showed you what you can do with simply fortresses, artifacts, and Lost Souls, and how you can set you up for whatever you need. So we'll get into more builds. I feel like I have plenty of blocks now, so not bad at all. But yeah, that is it. One variation of clay, and we'll get into probably the next one we do will be the Noah Shuffle with Lord of Armies. That's probably going to be the next build we do, and then we'll get into the purple clay. So I still have the Moses to Zadok as well, where it's like Aaron to Moses to Zadok with Pharaoh's daughter, and you have your enhancements that always work. And Moses gets to grab an enhancement, and Zadok negates enhancements, and you always have something to play. So I also have that. So probably 3 more videos, all 3 different variations of clay. I'll try to swap around some defenses as well. We'll see. I really like this defense, so who knows. But hope you all enjoyed, and hopefully I can put out some more videos this week and next. Thanks, y'all.